First things first, I can't recall if I ever played any game from Mana series. Maybe I did, maybe I didn't. Same goes for the original. This is important to understand as I have no nostalgia or connection to the series, so due to my bad memory, count this as first time entry to the series. Trials of Mana Remake is, well, remake of the original from 1995. It is a Japanese action-style RPG with very cute visuals and aesthetics. It is very vibrant, colorful and happy-go-lucky game that I don't honestly know who it is for. Is it for younger audience, nostalgic people or hardcore RPG fans, or all of the above? How much enjoyment you are gonna get out of this game depends on expectations and your preference. I for one like challenging RPGs with decent amount of character progression and combat depth. Biggest problem of Trials of Mana is its difficulty. Same as Ni no Kuni 2, this game is very appealing, cute, great to look at, fun, but destroyed by complete lack of challenge. I played the game on hard mode from start to finish and had a bit of trouble only couple of times in about 20 to 25 hours, which is how long it takes to finish one playthrough. Combat overall is fun, dynamic and animations look good, but it all becomes tedious at times since there is no real challenge and because enemies respawn really fast. So you are in combat a lot, but none of it will really grip you and make you think what to do and why you should even care to get the most out of every combat encounter. There are some additional rewards you can get in each combat encounter, such as more experience if you finish the encounter quickly. Combat system is fun and dynamic though. Even though there are only 4 combos per character, I never felt a lack of diversity, mainly because we can switch to other characters whenever we want. Lack of diversity does not come from lack of things to do in combat, but from game eventually turning to button mashing upon reaching endgame levels and against trash enemies due to characters becoming way overpowered. Combat consists of combining combos, class strikes and moves that are special abilities that vary from magic, throwing weapons to buff magic. To use class strikes you need to have CS gauge at certain threshold, very similar to Final Fantasy's ATB gauge system. So it doesn't take long to get into combat at all. Basic stuff really, basic but fun. Enemy variety is also quite good, at least when it comes to aesthetics. Due to lack of difficulty, their attack patterns mostly don't matter, as you will just do your thing without paying too much attention to the enemy. Boss battles are where difficulty ramps up, but not in a way you would like. There are many bosses in the game with unique mechanics, presenting different challenges altogether. Problem is that teammate AI is so incompetent that you are gonna go mental in these fights. Teammates will die all the time, unable to evade even the simplest of boss attacks, especially on hard mode. And this is the reason why boss fights are problematic at times. Thankfully we can use lot of items during the fight to revive and heal, but it is still very frustrating. In this game you can choose 3 characters out of 6 predetermined ones. Each has its own style, combat role and story. Besides main character, other 2 join the party through story and the ones you didn't choose can only be played in next playthrough. Trials of Mana has high replayability value because each character has their own story that is connected to other characters to some extent, as they will all cross paths eventually. Main villain you chase throughout the story depends on main character choice. There are 3 possible villains, which is quite interesting. Eventually it all leads down the same road, which is all about getting Sword of Mana to swat away evil foes. Character stories start off good and are genuinely interesting, but when it all starts connecting to Sword of Mana, Fairy and Great Evil whoever, it all falls apart and ends up being childish nonsense. Here is an example. Oh no, Ultimate Evil, strongest entity ever that cannot be rivaled, just took all of the power from the world to make itself even stronger. What can we do? We are powerless. Then comes a bit of pep talk like, no, you are amazing, you can do it. Followed by, Yes, alright, we can do it then, let's go. Fuck me. There are so many weak writing moments later on in the game, it is embarrassing. Shame really, because it starts off really interesting as you start caring about these cute characters at the start. Character progression is really good. Every character has same attributes to increase, but different set of perks and abilities that can be unlocked. At first, amount of points invested into single attribute is limited, but this is where things get interesting. At level 18 you get to have very important choice for each character, as you get to choose from 2 classes to upgrade that leads to different playstyles. Last upgrade comes during post-game and it also depends on choice made at level 18. This is the ultimate version for every character. Each upgrade unlocks more powerful abilities and grants stat boosts across the board with attribute limit increase. Great thing about it is that each class has different abilities, to some extent, and fulfill different roles in combat. There are many different abilities and magic every character can use, ranging from buff magic, elemental magic, passives that recharge mana or CS gauge, healing, throwing weapons, and so on. Even more so, it is a shame that there is lack of proper challenge, because it doesn't force you to use most of it. As the story progresses, more elemental based magic is unlocked, and this really is not a very good system. Actually, it is quite bad. Some characters start off with elemental magic present under attributes, but locked and unavailable for use until that specific element has been unlocked. Depending on the build, some characters might not see elemental magic until they are very high level. Some might get to use some of it early on. They should have just made it available right off the bat for every class capable of using it, as most of these you can only use late in the game. I understand it is story based, but still it is not well thought out nor explained. World of Trials of Mana is first linear, but soon it opens up and you can explore many locations. It functions like old JRPGs. First transport vehicle you get is giant cute turtle that can take you to many places. After progressing a bit more, cute gay dragon named Flamey is unlocked that lets you visit every location in the game. I like World of Trials of Mana, as there are many different locations to visit with different sets of enemies, and having this freedom to go wherever is something I've missed a lot in recent games that I've played. I also like endgame of Trials of Mana. It isn't anything special, but still interesting enough. After finishing main story, saved game can be loaded and you get to play more side quests that unlock final class for every character in your party. After all of that, there is a huge dungeon with optional boss to test your abilities. Unfortunate thing is that due to lack of challenge, it just ends up being fast run through everything you see, as nothing can stop you at this point. Even less so than before. Still, endgame concept is not bad at all, as this dungeon is really long with many different areas with every enemy you have encountered in the game crammed into it. Graphically, game is nothing special, but still it is very nice to look at due to very vibrant color palette and cute aesthetics to go with it. I'm more of a gritty visuals fan, but surprisingly so, I love how Trials of Mana is presented. Music is good, sound effects are okay, and voiceover is mediocre. Japanese voiceover is better, but still nothing to write home about. So how to score this game? It was definitely made for mass appeal in mind, as it seems afraid to dig deeper and establish itself as well fleshed out RPG that could rival bigger ones. Instead you get this cute simple adventure with fun combat, cute visuals, good enough character progression system, no challenge, interesting story system but with weak writing in later stages, and classic JRPG open world. Overall score greatly depends on your preference and what you like and want from JRPG with ties to old school. If you do not mind casual approach of the game and the lack of challenge, as story and world interests you more, then it would be somewhere along 7 out of 10, which translates to good game in my book. However, if you are like me and want proper challenge to utilize all the game has to offer to overcome obstacles, then this game is 6 out of 10 tops, which means decent game. Feel free to lower the score to 5 out of 10 if you do not like graphical style and visuals. So in the end, it is 6 out of 10 for me without much potential. It is what it is. Enjoyable, flawed and simple JRPG.